Welcome back into the Birdland Network, where we talk all things Baltimore Orioles and Major League Baseball. And today I'm back with another video, and I want to kind of talk about where I think the Orioles are headed for the rest of the season. Of course, they just came off this big series against Houston where they were swept. And I'm going to kind of talk about that series and talk about whether or not this is just a small bump in the road, or is this a sign of things to come. But before we get started, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything to do so. And that bell notification, that way every time we go live or do a new video, you'll be notified. And also give us a thumbs up if you can. It definitely helps the video. So as we all know, the Orioles over the weekend, they were in Houston, and they got it handed to them. They were just shellacked in the series. They lost 14-11 on Friday night. They lost 5-1 on Saturday, and then they lost 8-1 yesterday, Sunday. And it's concerning as an Orioles fan as I look at this series, and I'll give you my reasons why. And then in the end, I'll kind of give you an idea of whether or not this is going to be a long-term problem or is this just a bump in the road. So let's kind of talk a little bit about it. Of course, in Houston again, they were swept over the weekend. They gave up 27 runs in this series. That's a ton of runs. The pitching, starting pitching and relieving, was just not there. They did not pitch well at all. They had the best ERA in the American League at 3.13, so they went from a 3.13 ERA to a 3.38, which is still very good. And I think it's second now in the American League behind the Yankees. But it was a jump for sure. They haven't had a quality start over their past 6 games, and during that 6-game span, their rotation ERA is 7.50. So the starters have not been pitching well at all. And that's the first time this year they've gone that long without a quality start. So that's concerning. The bullpen has been leaking runs all over the place. Every time a bullpen guy comes in, it seems like he's giving up a run. There's nobody out there right now that I have even 95% confidence that when they come into the game, they're going to get the job done. Cano's has been inconsistent. Brian Baker, CNL Perez, Kimbrel, you name it. The guys that are coming into these games, I'm not confident that they're going to get the outs. Jacob Webb is another one. They're just not shutting these teams down, and it's an issue. As for the hitting, the last 2 games in the series against Houston, back-to-back 1-run games for them. 1 run on Saturday night, a Jordan Westburg home run. 1 run on Sunday afternoon, a Jordan Westburg home run. They're not scoring runs. And the only way they can score runs is through home runs. And they've got to become less one-dimensional when it comes to scoring runs. And that's a worry because this is the first time this year that they've had back-to-back 1-run games. And so that has to be something that hopefully they're addressing behind the scenes. Now look, don't get me wrong, hitting is hard. It's probably the hardest thing in professional sports to do. To take a round bat, to hit a round ball coming in at anywhere from 95 to 100 miles an hour that moves. I get it. It's hard. That's why 7 out of 10 times you can fail and you're still considered great. But this team needs to be more consistent with its hitting. And right now, they're not there with that. I mean, they had that huge series in New York where they scored 17 runs, and then they come back the next game against Houston and score 11 in a losing effort, and then back-to-back 1-run games? It's inconsistent to me. So there's that as well. And I think all this has to ask the question. Are the injuries to the pitching catching up to the O's? We talked about how important depth was and how much we thought the Orioles were so deep as a team with this farm system and what have you. But maybe on the pitching side, we're not as deep as we thought, because now we're cracking here. We're cracking under the pressure. I can't say under the pressure, but we are cracking. We have leaks in the boat, and the water is coming in, and we've got to find ways to plug these leaks. And I think the injuries are a big part of this. So hopefully the Orioles can do something about it. Now look, this team has bounced back so many times over the last year and a half. They've done it. They've had some losing streaks where they had 4 in a row, or 2 in a row, or 3 in a row, and then all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh, here we go. Has the bottom finally fallen out? Is the other shoe going to drop? And they always seem to bounce back. And, can they do that again? I think we're going to have to find out. I mean, even just this year when they were swept in St. Louis, they came back and they started winning again. They went 20-7 up to the St. Louis, after the St. Louis series up to this Houston series. So I think it's concerning. It definitely is. I think it's something that has to be addressed. This long stretch of playing really good teams without a day off or just one day off, is it taking its toll? Are they tired? I guess we're going to find out. I talked about this back in May when I was upset with the team and worried about the inconsistency of some of these players. I said, let's see where they are in June, and let's see how they play in June, and then we'll have a better understanding. And I think what I'm saying is kind of coming true. It's hard. It's a hard schedule in June. But all of that being said, I still think this team's extremely talented, extremely deep in a lot of ways, and I think that Mike Elias will make the necessary moves needed at the trade deadline to help bolster this rotation and this bullpen. But what I will say is this: he may not be able to wait till the trade deadline. They may have to make moves sooner. If it comes to it, if they continue to get pitching that's inconsistent and just frankly bad, they may have to make moves sooner. So I guess we'll find out. But there you go, folks. That's my video for today. I want to hear from you in the comments. Let me know. What do you think? Is this just a bump in the road, or is this something that's a little bit more of an ongoing issue that we should be worried about? I want to hear from you. If you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Again, just hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way, every time we go live or do a new video, you'll be notified. And last but not least, give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps the video. That's it, folks. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Keep rooting for the O's. Take care of yourselves and each other.